It's showtime.
It is, yeah. So happy Tuesday, Michelle.
Oh my God, it's only Tuesday?
Yeah, it's only Tuesday. And you know what's really crazy? I'm going to blow your mind right now is that next Tuesday, 1 week from today, is election day.
Oh, wow.
Blowing your mind, right?
In 1 week, our life can change drastically.
Yeah, I mean, life is changing every day. But look, we both have our I voted stickers. I noticed you had yours, I have mine. Excellent. Good job voting. Um, And so I guess before we get started, we should probably introduce ourselves. So my name is Marina,
I'm Michelle.
and we have this. Hi, Cynthia. How's it going? Happy Tuesday to you. So we have a channel on YouTube that we're doing our lives on now, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Michelle and I, we started doing this hobby where we buy things to sell. We buy things to sell online. And this hobby has been 2 years now that we've been doing it. We absolutely love it. We're learning a lot, making amazing friends online. And we want to just kind of share our journey with everybody and kind of like let people know there's an easy way to make extra easy. Nothing is easy, but it's an easy enough way where you don't need a lot of capital. You don't need to have you don't need to have like an education. Nothing is really, not much is required from you other than like hard work and dedication. So anyway, so that's the purpose of everything that we do. And we
Yeah.
enjoy it. We love learning and we love talking about what we learn.
Yeah, we've been doing it for 2 years now. 2 years? And we've learned so many things, and not just learning about how to package an item, but also learn about history of certain items, learning about what's valuable, what's not valuable, what items to source, what not to source, how to handle customers. I mean, these are pretty like basic essential things that you need for a business, and I think it's been a really good learning experience.
100%. Yeah, you do learn a lot from this. Like you learn business skills. 100%. Yeah. So the cool thing about like buying things to sell online is that, like we mentioned, anyone can do it. You can be very young. I've seen, 13-year-olds who know how to do this whole thing, which is crazy. Some of our friends have a kid. He's 13. I think he just turned 14 actually, but he's been learning how to do the whole thing by himself. He makes his own money. Can you imagine being that age? I remember when I was like 13, for me to make money, I had to crush soda cans at 5 cents a can. I mean, I would have way rather done resell.
Yeah. I
Would have made a lot more money much faster.
Yeah. Anyway, so what are we going to talk about today?
All right. Yeah. So let's see, our what we're going to discuss today is how to win at estate sales. So Michelle's going to go ahead and share her screen there. And, thanks, Michelle, for putting together our kind of outline to guide us in our conversation. So please feel free at any time to chime in if you have, interesting things to share, because, we absolutely love the interaction that we have with everyone who comes on the lives. That's honestly our favorite part of what we do Monday through Friday. We're taking a break out of work, right? So Michelle and I, we both have very busy jobs, and this is my fun time. So we do have a comment from Cynthia R. Amens. She says that this is a great topic. We've had a lot of like people ask us to talk about this topic recently, actually.
Yeah.
So hopefully you will see it. Those of you who thought about that early on.
Yeah. Have you been to an estate sale? Let us know. We would like to know your experience of going to an estate sale.
That's a good question.
Right? So for those of you who have been to an estate sale, what do you guys think? Let us know. Is it fun? Is it intimidating? Would love to hear what you think. All right, so let's start off by defining or actually knowing what is an estate sale. So it's funny because when I first saw estate sale, I thought people are selling their estates. Like I mean, in my mind, it's like a giant mansion that
Oh,
was
you thought they were selling their houses. That's real
yeah.
estate. Yeah, no, it's real estate. Yeah, they are selling their estate.
Right? But it's I mean, it's different. So,
Yeah.
by definition, an estate sale, is a sale or auction, sometimes actually people auction them, to dispose of a substantial portion of the materials owned by a person who is either recently deceased, or who must dispose their personal property to facilitate a move. There you go.
Yeah. Michelle, I was just wondering, like, do you remember the first estate sale that you went to? Were you alone, or because I feel like the first estate sale I went to was when we started buying things to sell online.
Yeah,
Um,
I
I think
think
that's the first time I've ever been to an estate sale. I've heard about them growing up, but I had never had a reason to go. I was
yeah,
always curious about them.
we always started with like garage sales, and for some reason, I don't know, I get intimidated by the word estate sale. It sounds like you got to put so much money into buying items, but I guess it's not.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to demystify what it is to go to an estate sale for those of you who haven't gone, because it's funny Michelle said that, and that's exactly what I thought too. I was always intimidated. I always thought you had to have a lot of money to go to one because you're selling off people's like most expensive prized possessions. So we do have a comment from Deb Laditas, Mama Boss, and she said, I've gone, but I feel like they're kind of higher priced on a lot of things. So that's a really good comment. We're going to touch on that in this live
Yeah.
because, okay, so yes, definitely sometimes you will encounter really high price ones. But again, we won't get into the details at the moment on that. We will come back around and talk more about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Also, I was just wondering, Deb, which part of the country are you joining us from? So we're actually located in Southern California.
Yeah, that's an interesting comment because that was my initial perception, but I guess it's not true after experiencing it. So let's talk about it. So how does it work, Marina? Do you want to like tell people how it works? How does it work? Let's say you want to host an estate sale.
Yeah, I do want to talk about that, but you never answered my question.
Oh, what was your question? Sorry.
And then we have a question to answer from Cynthia. So, yeah, I'm going to pull you back. How's it going, Katya? Welcome, welcome. So, okay. So, so Cynthia's from North Carolina. Deb is, I didn't get where you're from, Deb. Sorry. And then Katya, I think you mentioned you hadn't been to an estate sale before. Is that correct? Since we last spoke. But Michelle, do you recall your first estate sale?
No, I don't recall. Do you?
You know what's crazy is that I'm like, I want to say I don't recall either. So weird. But I also want to say that we're going to have to think about when our first estate sale was. We can track it. We
Yeah.
have items we bought to resell. We are going to have to figure that one out.
I think it's probably one of those old cameras. I think that was, yeah, I don't know.
But I know, yeah. I almost feel like when I first went, I was by myself and you were not there, and vice versa. That's almost how I feel.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you're working, and I used to have Fridays off, so I used to go by myself. Yeah. All right. So Deb is from the Midwest, Middle Missouri. Awesome. Cool. That's really cool. And then Katya said, I haven't, but definitely intrigued to go. So see, there's another one. We're going to, again, demystify estate selling for you guys. But really fast, Cynthia has a question. My yard sales have been so great so far. Is it kind of similar? So what would you say, Michelle? And that ties into the question of how does it work? So are yard sales and estate sales about similar or the same, or what do you think?
It's about similar. However, estate sales are usually hosted by a company, and that company actually help you liquidate items. So sometimes people have yard sales because they're moving. Estate sale, again, usually is when someone passed away, and the family, they don't want to, they don't have the space to handle all the items in the house, so they would hire this company to liquidate all the items. So it's a little different, right?
Yeah. So talking about how it works, like, I think the first time I went into an estate sale, I was, it is intriguing. It is a learning experience. Because as Michelle stated, it's usually like somebody's older parents or parent pass away most of the time. I want to say 90 to 95% of the time it's like that. And the children, or maybe they don't have children, but whoever gets those items, sometimes it goes to the government and the government does estate sales, right? But whoever gets those items says, well, this is a lot to deal with. It's already probably having a death in the family is already stressful. It's so much easier to hire a company to just sell as much as they can, and whatever they don't sell, maybe donate it or something, right? So that's kind of how that works. So like Michelle said, they usually have you hire a company to do it. So these companies should show that they're experienced and they do a good job, and that you want to make sure they don't give away expensive items. Like you want to make sure they price them accurately. At the same time though, estate sales are usually only 1, 2, maybe 3 days. They're not very long. And during that time, it's your goal as a estate sale company to get rid of all of the items, because remember, what you don't get rid of, you may have to donate anyway. So that's kind of like a fine line between, you don't want to overprice everything. No one will buy anything. Kind of like how Deb mentioned. If everything's expensive, we've been to so many estate sales, everything's expensive. People don't buy anything, right? Yeah. We've also been to very good price ones, and people are just taking. So I want to say that based on our experience, about 60 to 70% are overpriced. Michelle and I walk out of there with maybe one thing or nothing.
Yeah, and I do want to mention one thing to Deb's comment, is that sometimes estate sale people will talk to the owner or the family and say, hey, how fast do you want to get rid of this item? How much money are you looking to get from these items? And let's say, sometimes the family, they don't care. They just want to just call it a day. The prices could be very, very reasonable. So it also depends on what the family is looking for.
That's true. We ran into this estate sale accidentally when we were out yard sailing, garage sailing. And when we got there, they said, oh, this is a one-day estate sale. We need to get rid of everything today. And we were like so stunned. We had to go to the bank and get money because the person's home had a collection. They were collector's estate sales are like our dream estate sales, and we left that estate sale with very reasonably priced, gorgeous collectible, like Coca-Cola toilet seat.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Oh,
which we happen to have sold on Poshmark. I don't know how we did that, but yeah, it was a beautiful Coca-Cola toilet seat collector's item, and a bunch of really cool Coca-Cola things that we got there. How's it going, Lizette? Happy Tuesday to you.
Hi, Lizette.
Thanks for joining us today.
And I want to sorry, go ahead.
Were you going to say something to Lizette?
Yeah, no, I was going to bring something else up. So we're going to talk about something that has evolved with estate sale because of COVID-19. How people are conducting estate sale is a little different now. So now you have the option to do it online. You also have the option to do it in person with social distancing guidelines. So for those of you who are not comfortable with going out, online estate sale is certainly something you can look into.
That is true. And a comment from New England Betty Boop, Lizette said, I love estate sales. Went last week. 5 pairs of great shoes for $8. Wow. Cynthia has a question, like, were those good brand shoes, Lizette? So also, Deb, yeah, most of the estate sales, as we mentioned, for us are quite expensive. But if you can find the ones that are not, and usually they have many going on at one time, and like Michelle said, you can find them in person, but now with COVID, there's a lot of them online, right? So you want to look everywhere. What's crazy and really amazing about estate sales, though, is that they're different than going thrifting. It's a one-time opportunity. So like you should, you'll definitely have enough to choose from. You'll
Oh,
definitely have enough to choose from. That's a really good deal. 5 pairs of shoes for $8.
and I absolutely
That's
love
awesome.
estate sale because it's like you're going into a museum. It's just like there's so many like crazy cool things that you could find. So and you're also going to learn a lot about the owner, right, of the item. So it's really cool. It's a great experience. All right. So we're going to give some tips and tools as to how you could win at a estate sale. So tip number 1.
Oh,
Yes.
just wanted to update. So Lizette, her shoes that she got, it was what was it, 5 pairs for $8, were really good brands, such as Donna Karan and Merrell's.
Yeah.
Those shoes will sell quickly, and she'll make some good money off that. Michelle, if you are moving the slides, we are still on the first one. How does the estate sale work?
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Sorry.
All right.
I see you like going through all these topics, so I didn't know if you had a slide for it or not.
Yeah, no. So tip number 1, of course, I think this has to do with being prepared, and that is do your research. So very, very common is that when people conduct estate sales, they have images and photos, like hundreds and hundreds of photos of what the items are, what you're going to see. So this is a great time for you to do research, for you to know what you want to buy, what the comps are, whether you're doing it online or in person. Because if there is something that you absolutely want to grab, you're going to need to either, let's say you absolutely want it, you're going to show up early, just to make sure you can grab that item. And you got to know like if the price is right? So do your research. Anything else to add, Marina?
Yeah, you can. A lot of the estate sales, like Michelle has in the picture here, they post pictures of the items to entice customers to show up. So what Michelle and I do is we'll look at the pictures, we'll do the comps, which means we'll go on other websites to see what these items have sold for. And then, in our head, when we go there, we'll write it down and find out if it's worth purchasing or not. Sometimes we go there and it's too expensive and we're like, oh, what a bummer. But then we go to another estate sale. So yeah, do the research. If it's an online estate sale, it's super easy to do the research because you can just do it as you're finding the items. So online estate sales are usually going to be like an auction style, like eBay, or they're going to be live, like Michelle said, on Facebook. So yeah, so that's it. Do the research. And the thing about doing the research though, you're not going to be able to find everything. You still have to physically go there to get the deals. And I don't know if this is another tip, Michelle, but where we make a lot of our profits on estate sales are things that are underpriced. Is that another tip?
No, but wait,
Okay.
you talk about it.
Yeah, so that's really where we make a lot of profits on estate sales, is running into items that the seller missed. And at almost every single estate sale, this happens. So if you can make sure you go through the entire home. I remember there was this one estate sale, Michelle, we brought one of our friends with us who doesn't usually resell, so she was kind of excited. And I remember we went and to the house, and you guys we're ready to go. And then I was like, wait a second, we didn't go to the garage yet. So the garage always has stuff, right? So I picked up this barometer in the garage. It's gorgeous. And I think, Michelle, you weren't really on board on me getting it. This happens a lot. And Michelle and I, we have our differences in opinion. I'll get something, Michelle won't be on board. Michelle will get something, I'll be like, well, we'll see how it does, right? Right, Michelle?
Yeah.
And then that barometer ended up selling right away. So yeah, and it was very underpriced. So don't skip any sections of an estate sale. Check every single thing out. We have another instance where we found 2 VHS DVD players. I don't know now, but when we were originally going to estate sales last year, we'd always go like the last day, and everything would be gone and all the electronics would be there. And Michelle and I would be like, why? Like, what's going on? That's like the first thing we'll go for. I don't know if it's changed though. It might be different now.
Maybe. All right. So speaking of online estate sale, here's another tip. So basically, if you are joining a live estate sale, this is how it works, right? These companies would say tomorrow we're gonna go live at 10 a.m. Be there. So as soon as you're there, these guys would have their phone and they would go through different lots of items, and whoever is the first one to type in that you want the lot for how much, for this much money, it'll go to you. You're going to be the winner, whoever is the first one to type it. So the tip is really, you got to have fast fingers, you got to have good Wi-Fi, because that really affects the live, right?
Well, we're going to give you some tips right now, though, and we're probably going to sabotage our own success, but that's okay. Keep it competitive. Use your cell phone. Your cell phone is going to be faster than using your laptop. And we've proved that along the line with a lot of different people. Michelle's smiling. Hey, we're here to help people, right? So, yeah. But the one thing that I have to talk about this, because people are sneaky. Michelle and I were very, very, we're technology savvy for the most part. And our last estate sale, we were winning a lot of the lots because we were so fast. And a couple times people started saying something like, hey, you guys are taking everything. But that's the point, right? That's the point. It's first come, first serve. Yeah. And so at some point, and this is kind of like, this kind of sucked, to be honest, is the estate sale company didn't give us everything that we won on, but they didn't charge us, but it's still really disappointing because you get really excited when you win things. With Facebook, because of the internet connection and everything, you may not be able to see who's talking first. So what they do is after the live is over, they'll go back and they'll look at the timestamp. Now the timestamp, it does not change. That one is the same across the board, whether I'm looking at the timestamp or you're looking at the timestamp in another state or in another country, that part does not change. So when I went back and I looked at this timestamp and I screenshot it and I sent it to them and they're like, oh, sorry, someone else won it. I'm like, sorry, you guys are lying. I didn't say that, but I was super sad that day. You win some and you lose some though, right?
Yeah. That's totally right. So if you guys want to try it out, you obviously should look for an estate sale close to your location, so you could save money on shipping. And once you're done with the estate sale, you're going to drive there and pick up the items. So that's how it works for auction, for a live estate sale. All right. Tip number 3.
Oh, sorry. So comment from Cynthia. She said, I wish to have those deals with my husband. He said, just do whatever you say. Yeah, I know. That's why, if you do reselling with a partner, not by yourself, you have a business with a partner, it's nice. There's so much you could do. So we are very lucky on that. Okay, Michelle, please.
Tip number 3 is, I think, you got to have an open mind to be willing to pay a little bit more, invest a little bit more. Obviously you can buy one item. You can walk in with, you can walk out with one item, but when it's a good deal, when you go to an estate sale that has really great deals, I think, it's a good opportunity to invest a little bit more rather than going to 10 different garage sales. So this is just a tip, and we've been there. We have invested, a good amount of money on estate sales when the price is right, and you'll still make quite a bit of profit if you do make good deals out of it. Right, Marina?
That's true. This is different than the yard and garage sales in that those are going to be cheaper, like Michelle said. Yard and garage sales, it's like people who will basically donate those items, but before they do that, they'll sell everything for $1 or $2. Estate sale is going to raise that price from $1 to $2 to $5 to $10. So yeah, just be careful that you buy things that are going to sell. Don't buy something that you don't know if it will sell or not, or is not in demand, so you're not stuck with a lot of inventory, especially expensive inventory. But when it comes to antiques and collectibles, those are long tail items anyway. There's something that are going to sell to the right person, and you shouldn't anticipate that it will necessarily sell within the week or month that you list it.
Correct. Yeah. Like today, we just sold a Kodak 8mm camera that we've had for quite a while, and but you know what? At the end of the day, you're still making a profit.
So we do have a comment. Cynthia
yeah.
is saying that the Facebook Live estate sale would be a great topic as well. So, and then we do have Kathia who says that she agrees. Something to keep in mind, and we do appreciate those recommendations. Keep them coming.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe we could record a snippet of it just to show you guys how it works. It's very exciting, actually.
It is. It's addicting. It's like gambling.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you get something back.
You get a rush when you're doing that. Don't tell me you don't.
Yeah. All right. Next tip. So next tip number 4 is definitely study the prices. So this is a painting that we sold a couple weeks ago. We got this for I forget how much, $17. Yeah, we got this painting for $17. So this is exactly what happened. They did this live Facebook auction and nobody bid on it. It was at $34 and nobody bid on it. So, but then usually estate sales, they have a couple of days. The next day of the estate sale, it's 50% off. So what happened was the first day, no one bid on it. I actually went to Google the painter's name and actually found out that, hey, this painting is valuable. So the next day when it was 50% off, I put a bid on it and I bought it for $17. And we ended up selling this for $380.
Yes, and this is how you win at estate sales right here is you find very undervalued items. And that's it. And every single estate sale, no joke, we find them. Yeah, you just have to be really fast because there's people who walk in and they do know they know their stuff, like, meaning there's people who walk in and they only specialize in one thing, whether it's like vintage records or vintage tools or paintings, if you will. But that is how you win, is something that you'll notice nobody's paying attention to, and you should go look at those items no one's paying attention to, because to follow up on the question Cynthia's asking, what is the best item that you flip from estate sales? Exactly. The story is crazy, Cynthia. So this is one of the very first estate sales Michelle and I had ever gone to. And we walked in the house and there was nothing left. Everything, it was the last day. It was a rainy day. There was absolutely nothing. I remember that day. Michelle and we had an employee we had hired at that time who was filming us. And they were done. They had left. And I was sitting there hovering over boxes of old newspapers because I was like, oh my gosh, somebody's going to find these out and they're going to take them. And they're so, to me, like, I just had a feeling these are so valuable because there's stuff from, I was reading, the person organized the newspapers with titles. So there was like a page on top of the stacks of newspapers with the year and the headline. And there was stuff like, presidents who, was it Kennedy, who was, on the front page of a paper for unfortunately being, he was killed, right?
Yeah.
And then there was Man's Walk on the Moon. And I was texting Michelle. She's like, let's go. And I was like, no, can you please come here? There are these boxes of newspapers that I really, really want. And they're heavy and I need your help. So I remember she came back, our employee came back, and then they helped carry it to find out the price. So we didn't know what it was going to cost, right? But it was the last day, so we should at least get a decent deal. Well, they quoted us, how many boxes? Was it 2 boxes or
3.
more than 2? Was it 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think they quoted us something like $15 a box or something. And Michelle was like, no. So we were almost going to walk away without the boxes. And the guy's like, fine, let me lower that down to like, I think it was like $5 or $10 a box. And then Michelle's like, all right. So we took the boxes. Probably our cost is like less than a quarter a newspaper. And we've sold one of those papers for almost $200. And we've sold quite a few from there. And we have quite a few left. So that's to answer Cynthia's question. But that's also to get into, that's how you win at estate sales. Find the items that everyone's undervaluing them. Look up the comps and take them for pennies.
Correct. And I told the story yesterday too. That's funny. All right.
Oh, you did? How funny.
Yeah.
Why? Because, oh, we sold the newspaper last week,
Yeah.
huh?
All right. Actually, sorry, I want to go back to this tip. Is that there's another tip within here? Is that don't be intimidated by the item that you see. Sometimes we feel comfortable, right, with the items that we're used to selling. We're used to selling clothes, and we used to go to just directly to the clothing section. But with estate sale, it's a great opportunity for you to explore new items, explore how much they're worth. Like Marina and I, we've never sold a painting before, ever. This was the first time for us to sell a painting because we've never really touched that category. So now we know, right? And then we're now going into electronics, and we're looking into dolls and things like that. So don't be intimidated by the stuff you see.
Yeah, the doll thing is another story. So we're working on making a video of our last estate sale haul, which I think we spent over $1,000 on that. But we're working on making a video for you guys on it. And anyway, what Michelle said goes with what Kathia says, which is right. The categories you can sell are endless.
Yeah.
Yes, and the categories you could find at estate sales, based on what Michelle just said, are endless. And don't be afraid. Just because you've never sold an item, it doesn't matter. That opens up a new category for you to sell.
Yeah, I mean, there's another great story about these NASA photos that Marina found. So she's really into stationaries. Like, I would never look into the stationery or paper section. So yes, categories are endless. Maybe we'll tell that story another time.
Well, no, you kind of like left everyone hanging. So basically, I'll tell the story.
Fine.
So we went to an estate sale, or I went to one by myself, and I love stationery. I love vintage stationery. I'm a teacher. I can't help it. And I was going through an envelope. There's some yellow envelope. I literally took the time to grab the envelope and look inside and this is what I always tell Michelle, and I don't know if it's one of the tips, Michelle, but I always tell Michelle, what is the one thing I always like kind of remind you when we go to an estate sale? Do you remember? No? Okay. Don't go to the shiny section. Yeah.
Oh,
so there's always going to be a shiny section where there's going to be like 10 people and eye candy. Don't go to the eye candy. Everyone's going to be wanting that item. It's going to be super expensive. Don't go there. Don't go there. I went to the stationery section where nobody wants to go. Nobody was competing with me. I picked up a yellow envelope. I looked inside and I found these vintage NASA printed photos taken from the moon from the 1969.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of our best flips, also estate sale related. And we've never sold those before. So, I think we've way undersold them, but it doesn't matter because it's just the journey of having found those. And we still have some in hand.
Oh my God, yeah.
So, but a comment from Cynthia here, she said, I hear an Amazon seller who found a book signed from a Kennedy. He sold it for $6,000. Yeah. Wow. So we hear those stories often about books being sold for thousands of dollars. And they come from estate sales, a lot of them, because if they're really old, like first edition books, you can get thousands of dollars on some of these books. Definitely. It's a good comment.
All right. Ready to move on? Yes. Tip number 5, don't be impulsive. OMG. This is like my weakness sometimes when I go shopping. I remember there was one house near the Disney headquarters, and that person worked at Disney, I'm sure. Had a lot of Disney stuff, a really amazing collection of figurines and, cups and like teacups and just really like cool Disney stuff. However, they were way, way, way overpriced. So what happened was we ended up spending like 2 hours at that house, and at last we decided not to buy many things, even though a lot of the items were just amazing. I wanted to get everything, but because of pricing, we ended up just buying a few things. But the key here is don't be impulsive, especially at estate sales, because there are so many cool items that you're gonna see.
Yeah, we're a little impulsive when we do the online live estate sales, Michelle and I. But now we're a little more seasoned, so even if we don't look up a comp or something, we usually don't. We do decently. I don't know, but it still can be dangerous to do that. You have to be willing, like the stock market or betting, to lose the money if you made a mistake, right? Could be an expensive mistake. Cynthia has a comment. She said, I found a teddy who sings a Macarena. So exciting, still in the box for 1994. That is so cool. Are you keeping that teddy or are you going to sell it? Because that one's going to do really well. That is so exciting, definitely. And then we have a couple of comments I just wanted to go through. I like this one here from Girly Girl Style Hubs. Says that they're enjoying the heat from the new furnace. No more freezing. So happy to hear that. And man, honestly, the one thing I cannot do is the cold. So really happy to hear you guys have your furnace and you're enjoying yourselves. And hello to Tori. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. Sorry. Where is it? Oh, right here. Tori, happy Tuesday to you. Thanks for coming and stopping by. We appreciate that. And thanks, Michelle, for holding down the fort yesterday.
Aww.
So yeah, everyone said you did a really great job. So thank you so much. And just quick shout out to King Arthur Curry. Noel, happy Tuesday to you. Noel, happy, yeah. He says, hey, Marina Michelle.
And
thanks for joining us.
You missed his comment. Thrifty buy.
Oh yeah, yes, I was looking at that one as well. And he says, hi ladies, how are you? Glad to see you're feeling better. Thank you so much, Thrifting By. We appreciate that. What is your what's your name? So we can call you by your name if you don't mind. Although he also got a new furnace. That is a coincidence.
All right. Anything else to add about being impulsive here? Nope. All right.
No, I think I'm good.
You're going to do this one, Marina, because you're very good at this.
The haggle strategically. Yeah, we definitely have stories about this one. So this is how we haggle strategically at an estate sale. So basically, and oh my gosh, it took us a while to learn this, but when we go to an estate sale, we've already done the research, so we know there's a lot of things we're interested in. We get down, the prices are good. So Michelle and I will start grabbing items. Now, some estate sales will let you bring a bag, but some do not. Some say no bags, right? So I think that kind of helps like be more fair, I guess, to people if you don't have a bag and you're like hoarding everything, like what we might probably do if we had the opportunity. But anyway, so we'll take the items and then they'll usually have a table before checkout. And we'll say, hey, is it okay if we leave our items here? For the most part, they're okay. Sometimes they're not okay though. Sometimes they say you need to check it out now. So if we can leave the item there, leave the items there and grab as much as you can before you go to the checkout, add up the prices, and in your head, have the amount. So you're going to negotiate, in other words, is what I'm getting at. So before you check out, you're going to say, hey, I'll offer you this amount for all of the items. But have that already in your head, how much you're willing to pay, like what's the most you're willing to pay, because it gets tricky if you don't have your mind made up and you're negotiating, you may not win. So that's what Michelle and I do. And we often do win because at that point we have like a ton of items and they're like, well, either we give them a little bit of what they're asking for or everything's going to be returned. And remember, they want to get rid of their items. Yeah.
That's absolutely true. And most of the time they would just say yes. So definitely, you gotta negotiate. Some places, they say their prices are firmed, but if you get a bundle, they'll consider it, I'm sure. Alrighty, next one is if you frequent estate sales, definitely it's a good idea to know the people. Marina and I have been to quite a few with the same group of people. They recognize us, they know who we are. And it'll just give you a better experience. And if something is not, like, let's say something, they forgot something or something happened, they're obviously more than happy to help you out if you do know them.
Yeah, and sometimes if they've seen your face before and they know you, they might give you a deal. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes we pay up for prices just because we're so grateful, because we remember they've helped us out in the past, but it is nice to have the relationships like Michelle said, with the organizers, 100%. They will let you know also when they're having another estate sale. They will say, hey, come to our next one, or watch out for our email. We're inviting you to one. So that is helpful. Also, the last estate sale, I bought an exercise machine. And Michelle and I have 2 Toyota Priuses, so it didn't fit in our car. And so the organizer was really nice, and she let us trade our exercise machine for an electronic item that fit into our car.
It's hilarious. Marina like went on live, and it's almost like she bought an elephant and she expects the elephant to fit in our car when we go pick up the item.
Look, on Facebook Live, it looks so much smaller than in real person.
Oh,
so my mistake. There's a comment from Bill. He said, I haggled a lot in the United Arab Emirates for gold. They love American greenbacks for some reason. What? Gold?
Wow.
Oh my goodness. That's interesting. I'm sure there's an interesting story on that one there.
Yeah.
But also another comment is he said, American Pickers TV show always try to bundle haggle. Oh, cool.
I was watching Pawn Stars last night.
Oh, I love that show so much. Always makes me want to go to Vegas. I always feel like Vegas has better stuff than we do, but it's just that show, right? And they probably get stuff from all over the US or the world. And then Rich from Thrifting By said, when I go to these sales, I act like I'm just looking and not interested. I strike up a conversation and they give me great deals. There we go. That's another strategy.
That's real strategy. It's like you got to have a poker face to go in.
That is a good strategy.
I love that. Thank you, Rich.
Oh, that's a great idea.
All right. Next. If you do go to an in-person estate sale, show up early. Show up early. I would say show up an hour earlier. I remember we were sourcing cameras, vintage cameras at one point, and that sale had these Leica cameras, just really rare cameras. I showed up an hour early, and there was a long line already. So the key here is really when it's a very popular estate sale, they would usually let like 20 people go in at a time. So you're going to have to end up waiting for a long time. So that is really how you win, is really showing up early.
Yeah, we've done this so many times. So like, let's say the estate sale starts at 9 a.m. They will actually tell you in the announcement, we will be here at 7 a.m. So people will, if you get there at 7 a.m., you're late. There will be a line like Michelle said. So basically what they do is they'll have a sign-up sheet and then you'll write your name on it and then you'll have a number. So then they'll give you a number, and then for the next 2 hours, you can go get breakfast or whatever. You can come back at 9, and then whoever, like the first maybe 10 to 20 people who have that number will get to go in by themselves for a certain amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah, but that depends on the organizer, so not all of them.
Yeah, that's just exactly. That's one way they do it.
Okay. Ready for our last tip?
Sure.
Last tip is really have fun. I mean, like I said, it's just like going to museums. You don't know what you're going to expect. Here we have a photo of Marina holding this amazing newspaper that says "Off to the Moon," and I believe this is from 1967. I forgot.
The moon? Maybe, yeah.
So, even if they're overpriced, you are educating yourself by learning about these historical items if you see them. We recently kind of went to, we joined this online estate sale and found these porcelain dolls. We don't know anything about porcelain dolls. And we actually bought them because the prices were cool. And now,
I bought those dolls because, can I say?
Yeah.
Because there was this other estate sale that we went to online. This is the first time we went online where Michelle bought the painting. And they had this doll that no one was buying for $12. And I was like, wow, the doll's dress is so gorgeous. Well, we ended up selling that doll for over $100 on eBay. So when we went on our last estate sale online, it was a live one, there was a bunch of dolls again, and they were so beautiful. And these ones were in boxes. much better condition than the doll that we bought for 12 bucks. And I was like, why is no one wanting these dolls? Well, I scooped them all up. Michelle was like, fine with it this time. But I remember, Michelle, the first time I got the doll,
Oh,
you
man.
were like, why?
I was,
Do you remember that?
I was almost upset because a doll looked.
He was upset.
I always have this like thing about dolls, like they look really creepy to me, and so I felt like, oh my god, this thing is gonna be here forever because I felt like we're not gonna sell it. But you know what? The buyer bought it. She loved it so much, and even like sent us a message about it. So, you know, there is a market for dolls, believe it or not.
There's a market for dolls. Actually, like newborn porcelain babies are really popular right now. I don't know why, but they are. Rich says, where I live, we have plenty of auctions, plenty of estate sales, and garage sales. Sometimes the auctions get less than 6 people, and they let it go for practically nothing. Rich, where are you? Where do you live?
Rich, we're coming after you.
We may come and pay you a visit one of these days. Yeah, and then we do have Rich says, thank you for teaching me about vintage papers. Yeah, I don't know if you knew or not, but we're on Medium, which is a platform where you can write short articles or blogs. And we actually wrote one about vintage newspapers. If you're interested in checking us out, we're Flippin' Gals on Medium, Medium. And we do talk about that and our experience on there.
Yeah.
Bill says, though, that dolls are always creepy. But he feels the same as you. Hashtag Chucky feels. I'm
with you, Bill.
Yes. And then Cynthia says, agreed, Bill. I sold some porcelain dolls and they're expensive, but so creepy. Put them in the attic. LOL. Not gonna lie, when I walked into the room where we have those dolls the other day and it's dark, I couldn't look at them. I had to I had to pretend they were not there.
We have a lot of creepy dolls right now.
So to answer the question though, Rich, if anybody wants to go pay Rich a visit, as we're gonna try to when we get a chance, head over to that area. It's in upstate New York, the Greater Hudson Valley. How exciting would that be?
I think that area would have a lot of historical items. That
right?
would be really cool. Yeah.
I would think more than Los Angeles. Yeah, for sure. But here's we have a meme. We always end with a meme or a funny post, but it is Halloween coming up. It's coming up soon, and Rich says that he runs from Chucky's. Oh my gosh. All right, that was really funny. So let's go to our meme, Michelle, which is not really a meme. It's really more of a fail. It's a sign fail. Someone put an announcement for an estate sale that says "Dead People Things for Sale." It is a big sign fail. Yeah. I don't know how many people you're going to attract with that sign, right? But, you know, let's bring it to reality. When I do go to estate sales, I do feel sad or sadness when I'm in there.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, I always feel the energy in the room. I don't know if it must just be me connecting with the items in there, but I feel really sad.
I feel the
because
same.
It reminds me of like, wow, this person's life is in here, and life goes on, which is really sad, but in another way. And I've also gotten like family albums and whatnot, and in another way, it's really cool to be able to take a piece of that person's life and have it pass on and continue through others who are going to be gaining those items. They're pre-owned items. So
I think, Marina, we still have a lot of like postcards and love letters, and
we do
that. So it's really incredible to see people, you know, writing letters back before emails, before texting, back in like the 50s. That is really intriguing for me.
Yeah, I like stationery, and I often find cards in there, birthday cards and holiday cards, and I love reading those, and I love looking at pictures, old pictures and whatnot. So it is a sad truth. We do have an invitation from Rich. Thank you so much. He said, feel free to contact me. I'll be happy to be your guide, and we will definitely contact you, Rich, when we head out in that direction for the estate sale search. Thank you so much. So there is a comment here, and it's a good one. He says, please be careful with the dead people thing. It's a very old salesman tactic from years ago.
Mm.
Oh, I don't understand that. I'm a little confused about it. Can you explain that to me? I'm lost. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. So that's it, right?
Yeah, no, we're definitely done. I'm waiting back to hear from Rich on his comment about the salesman tactic. I want to know what that's about. Bill said I'd go to that one though. He would go to this estate sale.
That people things for sale.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I hear what you said, Marina, like it's kind of sad to, look at people's stuff. But at the same time, you're also helping the family out and you're helping them liquidate. Right?
Thank you for bringing the positive side out, Michelle. Isn't that the truth? You're helping out the family with their items, and if you do what we do, you're taking them to another place so that the item will continue to live on. And a lot of the people who buy these items are collectors. They are going to take really good care of the items. So that's something positive and bright that we can focus on. So yeah, so thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciated the comments. Oh, I get it. So Rich is clarifying. He says, in other words, people really didn't die. So did not know that. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, so you never know, right? But yay for positivity from Tori. Yeah, we appreciate that. So thank you guys so much for coming here. Next Tuesday, we will be back, and we'll keep it short because that's election day, right?
Oh my God.
How's that going to work out? What does election day? I have a question. Does election day have a time where it starts, or is it like all day long? How does that work?
You know what? You're not gonna sleep through the next day because they're still gonna be counting votes in the middle of the night.
Okay, so it's gonna be like an all day thing. Okay, so we'll definitely be back then, and we'll be back tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. And do we know what we're gonna talk about tomorrow?
I don't know yet, but we'll announce it.
I totally know.
What?
We're going to talk about all of the companies that have gone out of business in 2020 due to the pandemic. And we are in a recession right now. I don't know if everyone's aware of this or not. We're in a recession, and we're going to be talking about all the stores that have gone out of business, and that are going to be going out of business. This is important for resellers to know, especially those who are looking for items to purchase in liquidations and resell. So hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful rest of their evenings. We thank you again for joining us this evening, and we will see everyone tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
Okay, bye everyone. Take care. Have a good night.
Bye.